Oh yeah, we just out here doing our thing, bro. You know, yo, welcome.
You know, life is all about choices. And here on this channel, I don't just want to talk about stocks, the stock of the week, or, the plays, or I want this to be an all-encompassing channel, meaning I want us to talk about money on a larger scale. For those of you that are looking to advance your finances in ways that are outside of the stock market, right? So today I want to talk about what not to do, right? We talk about how to make money, how to keep money, how to invest. But today I want to focus on what not to do when you are opening a business, all right? And we're going to take a look at a video in a second. Just make sure that, listen, if you all are tuned in, make sure that you're following my series on 100 shares, which I am aiming to buy 100 shares of every stock in my dividend portfolio. Earlier, you saw that yesterday, you saw that I released a video announcing that I had just crossed over the 100 share mark for Realty Income, and so we're going to move on to the next share. But listen, I think it's a great dividend portfolio that we're building here, and hopefully you all can build something like this yourselves. Hopefully you build something even better than mine. Hopefully I can show you some of my mistakes so that you don't make them yourselves. But listen, let's get into this video of what not to do when you are opening a business.
A cafe in Melbourne is protesting the gender pay gap like we've never seen before. 1 week out of every month, men pay an 18% premium. The tax is optional, but so far, no male customers refused.
If people aren't comfortable with paying it or men don't want to pay it, we're not going to kick them out the door. Like, it's just a good opportunity to do some good.
The cafe, called Handsome Her, also has priority seating for women.
Welcome to Handsome Her, where women reign supreme.
This is called the Wall of Dames, so it's a wall of inspirational women.
Owner Alexandra O'Brien calls it a space for women by women, with priority seating for females and an extra tax for men.
1 week out of every month we have an 18% premium for men, which is the same amount as the gender pay gap.
I think it's fair if you think about the world and the gender inequality that we have.
I think it's a brilliant idea because I don't think that many people know the actual gap.
The tax is optional, but so far none of the cafe's male...
Hold on, let's pause it for a second. I want to go back to the house rules. I want us to read the house rules together, you all, because I want to make it very, very clear of what they were doing here at this place. Let me see if here we go. Okay, Handsome Her is a space by women for women. Okay, rule number 1. Women have priority seating. Okay. Rule number 2. Men will be charged an 18% premium to reflect the greater pay gap, the gender pay gap 2016, which is donated to a women's service. What women's service are they donating to? I would love to know what they were donating to. I would love to know where that 18% tax was going, because you can say, you could write on the board that you're putting 18% tax on something, but that doesn't mean you're actually, giving the money to some type of charitable or reputable cause. Rule number 3, respect goes both ways. Now here's where I have a problem, because rule number 3 directly conflicts with rules number 1. Okay, I don't really understand. How can you say respect goes both ways, but then you say that women have priority seating, and then number 2, you're going to charge men a premium? That's not going both ways. That's going one way, the woman's way. But let's continue.
The tax is optional, but so far none of the cafe's male customers have refused to pay it.
I could wear that, considering that there is a it's a fairly unequal pay gap between men and women. Even though there is supposedly equal pay, it doesn't really equate out there.
Staff say the gender tax isn't aimed at excluding people, but rather educating them.
At one point, the cafe even went a step further, raising the tax to 21% and posting a sign that Handsome Her is an establishment where women reign supreme.
Okay.
But the man hate went even beyond that. There were several reviews from men complaining that they had been ignored by the servers completely, or else were told that the restaurant had to serve all the women in the restaurant first before staff could serve a cisgendered white man or a Latino macho. And yet the manager told CNN that no one had been turned away or mistreated. Men had been happy to pay the fee, often paying even more than their gender-mandated tax, and the owner claimed that men often traveled from across town just to be subjected to the man tax.
I call bullshit. I call absolute. Listen, on this channel, we on all of my channels, but especially this one right here, what we're not going to do is get into this thing of where we just start telling lies. Okay, we uphold the truth over here, and we are not going to bullshit or sugarcoat anything. I call absolute 100% bullshit that men were traveling across town to come to a little cafe shop where they will be charged an exorbitant 21% premium tax because they're a male. Are you serious? Get the fuck out of here. Nobody's buying that shit. Nobody was traveling from far and wide. They act like motherfuckers were traveling from the goddamn Shire to come to this place to eat because they couldn't wait to pay that extra 21% premium tax as a man. Yeah, okay. All right, so we already know that they wanted to charge men an extra 18% premium tax, and then they bumped it up to 21% tax. And they said that women had priority seating and that they reigned supreme, and that men that came there ultimately would be subjected to less than treatment because they were simply a man. Now, I ask you, as a business savvy mind would go, how do you think that turned out for them? I'll tell you. A feminist cafe that charged 18% more to men disappears due to lack of customers. Ain't that a kick in the fucking back? Well, what do you know? What do you know? What do you know? Turns out that maybe, just maybe, men weren't traveling in packs to come to your little fucking restaurant where you could overcharge them to eat there. What do you know? Let's read some more, right? The cafe called Handsome Her, opened its doors in the summer of 2017 and has not lasted 2 years. It was aimed especially at feminists, lesbians, and vegans, and it's opening all the fucking things. Here you go. All the fucking things that will leave you broke. Right there. 3 things that'll leave you fucking broke and busted. Feminists, lesbians, and vegans. They'll leave your business in shambles. Go ahead, follow that mantra if you want to. Go ahead, appeal to them if you want to. Go ahead, cater to them only if you want to. They'll leave your fucking business in shambles. But let's continue. And its opening sparked controversy in Australia by charging 18% more to male clients, citing the wage gap myth, a thesis formulated by leftist feminism that on the basis of a statistical manipulation, it affirms that women charge less than men for doing the same jobs, the umpteenth attempt to make them feel oppressed by men. In an ad located at the entrance of the premises, in addition to reporting that tax on men, the local also established that women had preference at this time of seating. We already went over the house rules that they are again plastered at the front of the store. Says customer complaints about the discriminatory treatment of the cafe. Yeah, we definitely want to read that. Let's get into that. One client says it seems like the management trawled homeless ghettos for their staff. And they did not pay them enough to afford soap or razors. Jesus Christ. And they are also critical of the high prices of the products and their poor presentation. But the most striking are the complaints of disdain from male customers. spend half an hour trying to get a waitress to come over, and when they finally showed up, they told me I'd have to wait because I was a cisgendered white man and there were women who needed to be served first. According to the waitress, I'd have to wait until all women in the shop were served before they'd take my order, even those who came in after me. I left at that moment and will never return. So you're telling me that this is the place that men were traveling from all over the fucking country to come to. They were traveling from great distances on Noah's Ark journeys and traveling from biblical passageways all the way to here to come to your shop to pay an 18% gratuity tax for being a man. I know bullshit when I hear it. I know bullshit when I hear it. The cafe was intended to confront and dismantle patriarchy. Well, how'd that work out for you? How did that work out for you? On its Facebook page, the Feminist Cafe has announced that this Sunday, April 28th, will close. Apparently, the project has not had the support they expected from the public. You don't say. What happened to the men that were coming from far and wide? In fact, on his page in the aforementioned social network, there were very few photos that showed the place full at all. After all, they discriminated in their prices to a multitude of possible clients for the simple fact of having a penis. What could go wrong? As often happens in left-wing environments, instead of recognizing their mistakes, the farewell note published by the cafe resorts to victimhood and is a full-fledged political pamphlet. This is what appears in the third paragraph.
When we opened Handsome Her in 2017, we expected that perhaps we might make a stir through our brazen public discussions of structural inequality and oppression. The man tax blew up the internet, an idea that we didn't think was all too radical. Yet the way the world responded showed us how fragile masculinity is.
Look, they attack masculinity. This is insane and solidified the necessity for us to confront and dismantle patriarchy. Well, who knew, right? Who knew that cutting your customer base in half off the rip would lead to a failing business? I don't know one business in the entire world. I don't know one. I don't know one business, one profitable business in the entire world that can survive by cutting half of their clientele out of their business model and then charging them a tax for being what they are, for being male. You tell me one business that can survive that. Go ahead. Who knew? Who knew that treating men like crap and then still expecting them to pay with a smile on their face would lead to your business being shut the fuck down, not even surviving through the years? Not even survive. I don't think they survived 2 years. When was this article published? Yeah, it didn't survive 2 years. How about that? You had to be a fucking loser to go to this restaurant and be a male. There's no way. My wife would not even have my wife would have never took me to a place like this. Any woman that took a man to a place like this that charged them a tax just simply for being a man did not respect them. They did not respect them at all. They did not respect them at all. My wife she wouldn't even think about it. She wouldn't even patronize their business if she was by herself because it's stupid. So, ladies and gentlemen, here you have it. Our lesson for today. Don't make dumbass business decisions because of your emotions. It will lead you to failure, and it will lead your business down the rabbit hole of bankruptcy. I'll see you all in the next one. Later.
Congratulations, you played yourself.